Charlamagne the God has turned on Kanye West, as seemingly the entire culture has. So this is in Mediaite. The headline is, Charlamagne the God eviscerates Kanye West. How do you as a black man choose white supremacy? Now, I would play the video here for you, but I would get copyrighted pretty much immediately. But the good news is it's only about a 30-second video, and I have his exact words right here that I could read for you. So this is what Kanye said the other night. I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic, because black people are actually Jew also. You guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who opposes your agenda. So, it's funny to me that anybody would call this not anti-Semitic, but there are people who are saying that. It's a very, very tiny number, but it's some number nonetheless. Clearly, the gist of what he's saying here is that, like, you know, Jews control the industry, and Jews are, like, you know, pulling their puppet strings and controlling everybody and everything, and, you know, blackballing people who they don't like, who don't push their agenda. And this is just classic 101 anti-Semitism stuff. A secret cabal that's in control of everyone and everything, and there's a grand conspiracy, and it's a conspiracy against people like Kanye West. So they continue here and say, on the Monday edition of The Breakfast Club, Charlamagne blasted the rapper, asking, quote, how do you as a black man wake up and choose white supremacy? He's also referring to, I think, the White Lives Matter shirt that Kanye wore. Like, Kanye West woke up and chose to be a Nazi one day? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and tells you how much he loves Hitler, he added. The radio host even pointed out that his new tweet follows last week's Paris Fashion Week show. That's all White Lives Matter thing, blah, blah, blah. Quote, like in the span of a week, you use your energy to spew anti-black slogans and anti-Semitic rhetoric. Like, you might as well call him KK Kanye at this point. Damn. So he wasn't playing around. Now, I will say this in response to this, though. Because, like, where does this come from? Where is this Kanye stuff coming from? I've been thinking about this a lot. I really think it stems from two places. Mental illness and contrarianism. I think that's at the heart of what's driving Kanye right now. He's clearly mentally ill. Now, that's not to say, of course, that everybody who's mentally ill is going to be like an anti-Semite or a bad person. Of course, that's not the case. But this is an instance where the mental illness is seemingly pushing him down bad paths, right? But he's clearly mentally ill. He has bipolar disorder. He's totally unmedicated. And you mix that with contrarianism, and he's effectively lost his mind. And so the contrarianism comes in because if you're somebody who's a big-time celebrity, if you're somebody who's in that Hollywood world, then you are surrounded 24/7 by, like, mindless drone resistance liberals, people who have the most boring, banal politics of all time. These are like the I'm with her Hillary stans. These are the people who spend 24/7 shitting on Trump, but not even doing it in an intelligent way where you bring up his policies, doing it because, like, he does mean tweets. And if you're in that environment and you're in it for an extended period of time, you're going to start to hate those people, and you're going to want to be different. And you're also going to see, you know, the flaws of the people within that environment. In Hollywood in particular, of course, there's extreme narcissism, selfishness, and materialism, consumerism, all that stuff. And I think he has a natural aversion to those things. And so you take extreme mental illness that's unmedicated, and you mix it with contrarianism, and you're going to get Kanye West doing and saying bizarre things while claiming to be a genius because I'm an outside-the-box kind of guy, I'm a free thinker, and all that stuff that he says on a regular basis. So in a weird way, this isn't me defending Kanye, more as I'm just trying to explain where I think it comes from, what the most reasonable explanation is. And what happens is, if you're deeply mentally ill and you're a contrarianism, it doesn't take much for you to go down the wrong path, right? Like, you just need to be put in front of the wrong Reddit page, and it's a wrap. You just need to be, watch the wrong YouTube video with a charismatic speaker who happens to also be an extremist and fucking crazy, and you could think this stuff is genius. And that is, I think, at the heart of what's going on with Kanye here. And it's interesting because in that interview with Tucker Carlson, this is right after he wore a White Lives Matter shirt. He was telling a story about how he thought racism killed his, a fellow black coworker who was like the head of Louis Vuitton design or some shit. So it's not like he thinks that like anti-black racism doesn't exist. Not only does he think it exists, he thinks it fucking killed his friend and gave him cancer. So the reason I point that out is to show you there's not really like a coherent ideology here. It's the dude, his mind is all over the fucking map. And I'm sure he has deeply contradictory beliefs on a number of things. So it's not first and foremost an ideological project or a philosophical project. The guy is deeply mentally ill, he's unmedicated, and he's a big-time contrarian. And when you're mentally ill and you're unmedicated, you feel like, if you're going through a period of mania, which is what it seems like he's going through, you feel like every little word you utter is brilliant, and you're just misunderstood. And so it's almost like the more people critique him for it, the more he doubles down and triples down in that belief. Because, remember, he wore the White Lives Matter shirt at an event, and then a couple days later, he wore it to his kid's basketball game. So that was after all the backlash. He was like, fuck it, I'm gonna wear it again. So that is the best explanation to me. So in some ways, I feel bad for him, because it's like, this is like a meltdown in front of the whole world. But then on the other hand, again, my dude, you're 40-something. Just take your meds and you'll be all right. I would not be surprised, even in the slightest, if you gave Kanye West his meds and he stayed on them and he had somebody in his life who he could trust. I wouldn't be surprised if he went back to making good music. I genuinely wouldn't. Because he would get some sense of normalcy and some sense of consistency and tranquility. And that would allow him to sort of open up to be artistic and creative and intelligent again. But certainly what we're seeing right now is deeply disturbing. And yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with Charlamagne. I can't critique Charlamagne. It was just a 30-second clip, but that 30-second clip had a lot of substance in it. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.